Hello everybody, it's McAllister here from Traxxion Dynamics, and today I'm going to do kind of an update video, let's call it, on the 2021 Honda Goldwing luggage rack and brake light installation on the new larger capacity trunk for the Goldwing. If you've done this before or watched any other videos, you really could watch a 2018 luggage rack video and get it. But don't forget, Honda has detailed installation instructions available at HondalineAccessories.com, or you can go to Honda and pull up the Goldwing and you find the model that you have of Goldwing for sale, and then hit the accessories tab and you'll find it. And then scroll down in each of the accessories, find the accessory you want to install, scroll down in it, and you'll see they have installation instructions. And they are in the style and manner of a Honda motorcycle service manual, so really pretty good pictures, almost always really good pictures. Some of it gets really hard to see if you're doing wiring things, but this stuff's pretty straightforward. So in this trunk lid, comes off just like the old one, 3 bolts on each side. There's a handful of small, I call them self-tapping screws that hold the lid in. This one comes apart. The halves come apart much easier than on the other piece. And so in this one, we installed the inner trunk light. So we've got that in there. So this works when you just lift the trunk lid, the light will come on automatically. The trunk sub harness is the same part number as the previous bikes. The light is the same part number as the previous bikes. The luggage rack installation is vastly improved in every way. It's just better and cleaner in every way. Some of the things will be the same. Is there's a washer, protective washer that goes here. You put a piece of tape over it to hold it in place until you do get it assembled. There's a support bracket that bolts in place there, so that when you're done and the whole lid's assembled, the trunk rack comes through and there's just the 4 bolts here. So even starting in 2018, this is vastly improved over the old trunk lid, which had no support under it at all. And as soon as you put a luggage rack on it, and of course people put 178 pounds on the luggage rack, they crack everywhere. They spider crack the painted lid everywhere and make a mess out of it. So we got literally one of the very first 2021 luggage racks anywhere. This is going on our mega build. And but it was chrome, and this is a totally blacked out bike that we're building. So we sent this out here in Atlanta. Miller's Powder Coating busted this out for us. Thank you very much, Miller's Powder Coating. They did this in a day. So we've got this nice matte black luggage rack here. And then in the lid, Honda has started doing some things I've seen. The CB antenna for 2021 is different, and this is different. They send you these harnesses, the wiring, the harness that goes with it. They give you these details where they want you to measure and mark with a marker at various lengths along the wire. And so you take a silver Sharpie, or you could use whiteout if you don't have that in your house, and you'll mark the wire on the light. So just like all the other accessories, you actually have to build the light for Honda. They don't build the light for you. So you actually assemble the light before you can even put it on the bike. Another big improvement is, instead of having the power cord enter the painted plastic, they've got these nice rubber boots on the lid I'm going to show you, and the wire enters the rubber boot. The grommet on the light never, ever stuck in the painted lid properly. It was a piece of junk on the 2018 to 20 model bike. It fit terribly. The problem is the little shank in the grommet, the groove is too narrow to fit in the plastic, and it has no lip. You put it in, it falls out. Put it in, it falls out. You just look at it wrong and it falls out. It's terrible. So anyway, they give you this where you mark this, and then to continue on as you're manufacturing their tail light for them, they send you a big chunk of this foam rubber sticky stuff. You're supposed to measure and mark it and cut it to the right lengths, and then throw out everything you don't see here. So then once you're going to be done, started pre-preparing and cutting and fitting and doing all their manufacturing for them, then you come over into the lid. Can you come over to the camera? I'm going to see if we can show you this. They've got a new thing they're doing. You might have to come right here and let me point right to this. So they have Now what they're doing is they've got markings in the plastic that show you the routing of the wire and then where you put the corner of the sticky tape. So this one I think you can actually see. See this in the plastic? There you go. They've got a little a molded plastic hump here. That's where you put this corner of the sticky. They've got another little line in the plastic you can't see now, but it's right here that shows you this is where the wire goes. And then it shows this is where the wire goes, and then there's the corner. And then this is where the wire goes, and then there's another one of the little corners hiding under the foam right there, all right? So that's kind of new. When you take your lid and turn it over, from the top you'll see there's 2 painted tabs. When you flip it over, there's 2 screws on each. The painted tabs come out, and then you install these nice new rubber gasket lifter things here that you know, kind of hide stuff and make it look nice. I slather it all up with tape. If you're going to do just a luggage rack, you don't have to do this. If you're doing the luggage rack with the Hondaline Light, it is a horrible pain in the ass the way they've got it configured. So you actually have to put the light in, wire the light, leave the light dangling, then install the luggage rack, and then try and fit the light to the luggage rack after it's built. So that part really is awful. One thing they improved, not that it matters, this little tab that holds your wire from your heated passenger backrest. This tab was just a little fleck of plastic last year. If you set it down on this like that, it would break off. So they've made the tab more substantial this year. They still have a warning in there, don't put pressure on it so you don't break it. And then another nice improvement, when you go to put the 2 halves together, you don't have to fight them anymore. Before, it was actually a battle, and you had to kind of find it's hard to even describe it. There was practically more of a felt secret technique to getting the lid to snap together. So the halves would kind of interlock, but they would not be located and seated where they need to go. And they needed to be snapped in a certain way. So here is the hole in the bottom. You want to, once you connect the lights and stuff there, pull that lump through so that it's not binding or in the way of anything. And we'll come back and organize that neater in a moment. But now, unlike the preceding bike, this is where on the preceding bike you had to know a certain trick. So you had the clamshell start in this way, work it back this way, but then you had to go to this area right here and really crush these together hard, and it would go snap, and it would pop. And you go snap, and it would pop, and then it would be together. But now this just lays in nicely. Let's see, there's half a dozen screws that go in here, and I'm just going to do this while I'm talking. The one thing that's the same on the sub harness here, they have you mark it at a location and then tape it. It's held down with tape to the trunk lid, and there's a pathway they show you in the photo diagrams on how to follow that. And I have not actually done one of these all the way to the finish, but it actually is easy to see where all the hardware and stuff goes. You can almost just figure it out. It's like I say, it's much better than it was before. Now, me personally, I frequently disassemble stuff with power tools, but on plastic self-tapping screws, I never use power tools to assemble, just because you need to be able to feel, if the screw is going to try and strip or not. And obviously we work on a mess of Goldwings. We find lots of pre-stripped screws from the factory all the time, and obviously they've got things going together at 100 miles an hour at the factory, and so all somebody has to do is cross thread a screw and keep on turning it, and it'll wipe out the plastic. And so anyway, we avoid that by not assembling by hand, or not assembling with the power tool. Okay, so I've got What all do we got left here? So we've got 6 screws in there, and I've got, these are for the tail light. I think I probably got 2 more somewhere else. I'll have to find them. Anyway, they might have got knocked loose. Anyway, so the tabs go back in to where you found them. These are directional, and when you take them off and you go, oh geez, I forgot, how did that thing go? Was it that way or was it that way? I don't know. There's a simple way to tell. One side from the factory has already had a screw head touch it, so these are all shiny and black, or clean and black. On this side you can see where the head of a screw twisted on that, and so you know that that's the side the head of the screw goes to when you put that together. So those tabs will go in that way. And then this is gets a little more complicated from here. So as far as fitting this. So the next steps are, just to save time on the video, and because it does take time while you mess with it, you'll use some soapy water on these to pass them through the rubber grommets that are in the hole here. And then the hardware is, again, quite self-explanatory. Honda's got it all set up for you. You'll see 2 of these have hats and 2 don't. If you look in the holes, there's obviously 2 places that don't have the hat. One's got the hat coming this way. This side, the hat goes the other way, and there's a little rubber washer that goes between them. Put the 4 screws in. But you'll have to have the tail light laid up in there properly, oriented this way. And then once it's in, then from the top, you will put the screws in that hold the tail light up through here. And these grommets are very difficult to push in, and the rubber is hard to get in the hole, so I suggest you do what I've done here, which is get everything done that you can and just leave these last 3 tabs up, which are towards the back and easier to pull on, and work from here once it's assembled. And that way you don't have to worry about those other half a dozen or 4 grommets there, and also fighting with getting this lip pulled through and around on the grommet. So anyway, so those are the tips I've got for this thing. Soon we'll show you when we're putting this back on. And installation of the more powerful gas struts is exactly the same as it was on the last bike. That's one of the advantages of buying the Hondaline kit. It's the highest quality available, and it comes with higher power gas struts. So if you have a bag on top of your luggage rack and want to open the lid, it'll still open without you having to actually heave on it. And this kit does include what is the absolute most useless thing ever created by Honda, which is this decal that says maximum weight rating 5 pounds. So I don't know anybody who's going to pay $450 for a trunk rack, $150 for a tail light, $30 for a subframe bracket, and then it's about 3 hours labor, $300 to have that installed so that they can put 5 pounds on the rack. So this is more of a comedic thing. I'm not sure what, I'm going to save this for the owner. He may have something, maybe I'll put this on the driver's seat before he gets on it. But anyway, that's my joke of the day, is the 5 pound weight rating. So anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget, subscribe to my channel. I'll keep cool content coming for now what is some new parts on the new 2021 Goldwing. And share with your friends who are getting ready to do these accessory installations, and I'll see you next time on another video.